welcome back. I hope everyone is doing great. My name is Raviteja. Let's solve today's Leetcode problem 3741, minimum distance between three equal elements 2. You are given an integer array nums, a tuple ijk of three distinct indices is good if nums of I is equal to nums of j is equal to nums of k. Okay, a distance of good tuple is the absolute difference of those indices, okay, where absolute difference of x is the absolute value of x. Okay, this is just the definition of absolute value. Return an integer denoting the minimum possible distance of good tuple. Okay, in a given array there can be multiple good tuples. Okay, among all those good tuples we have to get the minimum possible distance of the good tuple. Okay, so if you look at this example, this has 1 1 1, this is one good tuple, 2 2 2. Okay, these are also good tuples, right? So let's take this example. Okay, so as I mentioned, the index 0 and 1, this is 2, let's 3 4 5 6. Okay, one tuple will be 0 1 followed by 5, right? And then which has all the elements as basically 1, right? And we have all the elements as 2 4 and 6. Okay, so this is also a good tuple which contains all 2's. Okay, it is not necessary that it will only contain 3 ones. It might also be possible that it might contain one more one over here. Okay, among all those possible tuples you have to get the minimum distance wala tuple. Okay, so if you calculate the distance, okay, as per this formula, okay, the idea is to pick the adjacent elements. Okay, if you take 0 1 5, this will result to a value. Okay, this value will always be lesser than picking 0 1 and 7. Okay, because we are subtracting the elements. If one of the component, if one of the element has a higher value, okay, let's say we have freezed I and j and we are only increasing k. Okay, if we are increasing k, this difference will also increase and this difference will also increase, so the overall component of the distance will also increase. Okay, so idea is to pick the adjacent elements as I j k in this particular tuples. Okay, so if you see, what I have done is basically I have aggregated the indices of each element. Okay, what all positions that one exists in the given array. One exists at 0 index, 1 index, 5 index and 7 index, right? And what all indices that 2 exist at second index, fourth index and sixth index. And we'll repeat this process for all the elements. 3 exist at 3. Okay, so for each and every unique element in the array we will keep track of the indices at which it exists in the given array. Okay, now that if we have the indices, we can simply iterate through the indices. Okay, each of these indices by taking 3 of them and then calculating the distance and then trying to minimize it. Okay, so if you look at this example, I have repeated the same approach which I have explained. I have created a hash map where key is the element and the value will be the list of indices. Okay, so this is what I am doing. If the element does not exist in the hash map, then I will initialize it with an empty array and then I will add the current index. Okay, so till this particular process we will be having in a hash map with the element and the corresponding indices. Now that for each element we have to calculate the score, right? We have to calculate the distance of the good tuple. So this is one good tuple, this is one good tuple. So I was just iterating through the array. So if you look at this formula, now that we also notice that the elements in the array will always be in the increasing order, right? No, if we can actually reduce this. Okay, why? Because in the given list it is always I is less than j is less than k, this property will always hold true for each and every list, right? So we can actually reduce the formula of absolute of I minus j can be written as j minus a, because j is greater than I. So I can do this, and I can also write k minus j, and I can write as k minus I, right? If you see k will get cancelled out, okay, and we will be ending up with 2k minus 2I, right? And then if we can calculate this, okay, then that will be the distance of a good tuple. So I'm just iterating through the every list of the corresponding element, and I'm going all the way up to this particular index. I have to go, because I have to pick ijk, right? I should only go up to this particular index, then only I will have a valid key possible. So that is what I have done over here. And then k is basically I plus 2, right? If I freeze this as I, then my k will be I plus 2 and j will be I plus 1, right? So we don't require about j. All we have to do is to calculate 2 times the I plus 2 and 2 times the I, right? So that is what I am doing. In the end, okay, there is a possibility that there are no such good tuples exist. So let's say if all the elements in the array are unique, then I don't have I and j, valid I and j is possible. In that case, I have to return -1. So I just define my answer as maximum value, and then I'm trying to minimize it. Okay, if my answer is still max value, then I will be returning -1, which will indicate that I don't found at least one good tuple, or else I will be returning my answer. If you try to submit this problem, all the test cases will be passed, okay, and it will be pretty efficient solution as well. Let's also look at the time complexity and space complexity of this algorithm. Before jumping dive, I highly recommend you to subscribe to my coding channel. If you have seen so far, I will be posting daily Leetcode questions, and um, I'm also planning to release a Java series, okay? So do subscribe so that you won't be missing the content which I'll be posting on, okay? If you see, I will be I have to store all the indices, right? I have to store all the indices into my hash map, right? So that my hash map will grow up to big of n, where n is the size of my hash map, size of my initial array, right? Big, with the space complexity big of n, and time complexity is also big of n, because I'm iterating through all the elements, right? So both time and space complexity is basically big of n. If you like the explanation, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and also share your valuable feedback on the comment section. I will be posting solution in multiple languages such as Java, JavaScript, Python. If you're coming from any one of these backgrounds, feel free to check it out, the solution in the description. Thank you.